Hello, I am Professor Kino and welcome to my Office of Cinematic Antiquity. Today we will be talking about... I realize that I am late with this review. I did not have access to a movie theater for the first few weeks after Venom came out, and then when I had access to a theater, it was always my second or third choice for what to see. But I did eventually get around to it, and here is what I thought about the screen adaptation of this much-beloved comic book character. Premise. After investigative journalist Eddie Brock infiltrates a facility of the corrupt Life Foundation, he has an encounter with a mysterious extraterrestrial entity, Venom, that merges with him. While trying to come to grips with his new condition, the CEO of the Life Foundation seeks to reclaim his subject so as to put his own evil plan into motion. Writing. I have heard this movie described as very 90s, and I can't help but agree. It has the bombastic action, to the corny dialogue, to the over-the-top villain with a bare-bones, almost non-existent reason for doing what he's doing. The story is not deep, it doesn't have any messages or themes, except maybe corrupt businesses are bad. It is just an over-the-top, convoluted sci-fi action film, and for some, or many if you look at the audience reception of this film, this will be enough. But there are plenty of problems on display here. First and foremost, it doesn't seem to know what it wants to be. A horror film? A comedy? A sci-fi? A drama? Venom bounces between these genres consistently, but is never able to meld them together in any effective way. Instead of being a horror, comedy, sci-fi drama, the film is a horror, then a drama, then a sci-fi, then a comedy, and then it just repeats these in various orders until the credits roll. And to make matters worse, for every time that these genres work for the film, there's another time that completely misses. For every effectively creepy scene is a horror scene that feels boring. For every funny joke there is one that falls flat on its face or is just weird, etc. And all of this is made even more awkward by the fact that some of the dialogue is just straight up poor, as though most of it didn't even get edited. A second draft at the very least is what this film desperately needed, because this film is just a mess. And in the end, it feels like it was built on an assembly line. There are a lot of pieces here. Some are well crafted, others not, and each part feels like it was put together individually before any thought was given to how they would all fit together as a final product. Acting. The good part is that everyone here feels committed to their role. Despite needing to deliver corny and clunky dialogue, none of the actors seem bored, and that's nice. It helps to get you, at least a little, invested in what's going on. However, their performances are never really able to elevate the film beyond its already present issues. Tom Hardy is suitable as Eddie Brock and as the voice for Venom, and he is able to carry the film on his shoulders. However, while his performance is a saving grace and half of me really enjoyed watching him, the other half of me just wished that he was given a better film to work with. Riz Ahmed as the Life Foundation CEO Carlton Drake is fine, and Ahmed's talent shines. He, just like with Hardy, isn't given much to work with. Drake is just a basic villain, evil for evil's sake. And Michelle Williams as Eddie's girlfriend Anne is the same. She does her best and her talent shows, but the screenplay just doesn't give her anything worthwhile. Costumes, hair, and makeup. There is some good work here, such as the look of a broken leg early on in the film, but there was also some bland work as well. Business suits, lab coats, hoodies, and jeans. While it's fine for what it is, there isn't much that feels fresh and exciting. Set design. The sets are very basic. While none of it is bad per se, there's just so much more that could have been done. For example, the evil corporate lab is just a bunch of random advanced-ish looking technology in glass chambers with test subjects cowering in them. Comparing this to the most recent evil lab I've seen at the movies, the Nazi lab in Overlord, the lab in Venom just seems basic and dull. Choreography. This is a bit of a mess as well. While some of the action is solid, there is an equal amount of meh. For example, I like the fight scene in Eddie's apartment, but the car chase that followed it just dragged on and became boring. Cinematography. I didn't see any shot that seemed bad, but I also didn't ever see one that wowed me. It ranged from alright to eh. As for the former, I thought that the conversation scenes and reveal scenes, like when Venom's first revealed, were done fine, albeit not too amazing. And as for the latter, the first scene that comes to mind is the final action scene. While the action seems like it probably looked cool, there's just too much shaky cam and close-ups to really follow what's going on clearly. Editing. Another mixed bag. While I never felt that the editing caused issues in and of itself, when in conjunction with the sloppy cinematography and choreography, some scenes were left feeling jagged and rough editing-wise. To bring up the final showdown again, the already mediocre camera work was not done any favors in the editing room. Shots were cut together so rapidly sometimes that it just made the action even more confusing. CGI. Good enough. While not groundbreaking or gorgeous, when thinking about what a live-action Venom would look like, I think this film delivers. He looks solid, although maybe a little too shiny for me. Music. While licensed songs-wise, I feel like it is a little more rap-heavy than I had imagined Venom would be, with the likes of Eminem, Pusha T, and Keek da Sneak. It kind of fits, and I have nothing bad to say about it, but it was just kind of surprising.
I don't put that on, that's my word. I don't put that on, that's my word. I don't put that on, that's my word. I don't put that on, that's my word.
And with regard to the original music, I found it basic. Very heard it before. It works, but isn't unique. Direction. Ruben Fletcher helmed Venom, and while I think he was able to capture some of what makes Venom Venom, such as incorporating lines right from the comics into the film, there was also a lot of missed opportunity here. While I'm not sure what was Fletcher's decision and what was studio involvement, there was definitely a clash behind the scenes, and it shows in the final product, a confused and sloppy film. In the end, it had its moments and a fair share of solid acting, but none of this is enough to carry the film beyond bland mediocrity. My enjoyment. I enjoyed myself to an extent. I liked the acting and the interactions that Eddie and Venom had with each other, but I could never really get invested in what was going on. The stakes never felt present enough, and the film felt just too messy for my liking. I think if this film streamlined what it was trying to be, either a sci-fi horror film or a sci-fi fun action film, made the antagonist more intriguing and made the action more engaging, it could have been so much better. And hopefully when this film gets its inevitable sequel, it is able to accomplish these things, because there is definitely a lot of room for improvement. Recommendations. If you are itching for some mindless 90s comic book action, then this film will probably satiate you. Also, if you are a diehard Venom fan, then there are probably going to be some parts that you'll like. However, I think that this film doesn't do enough in any one aspect to really recommend to anyone else. It's not scary enough to be a good horror, it's too corny to be a satisfying sci-fi, it's too bland to be an engaging drama, and it's too sloppy to be an exciting action film. While it can be fun at times, I'd be lying if I said it was great. Thanks for watching, I hope you liked it. If you did, leave a like. If you want to see more, please subscribe. I'm Professor Kino, and I look forward to our next discussion.